What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 9450. This is Brackets and Buckets. This is our national championship game recap. As usual, y'all know who I am. DA in the building, Lolo in the building, K-Dot in the building as the guest of honor today. Yo, K-Dot, what's going on, man? How you doing today? Happy Sunday, man.
Happy Sunday. Hey, yo, what up? What it is? What's popping? We are excited to talk about the national championship. We are excited to talk about everything under the sun that happened in the national championship. And I'm just ready to, get right into it. But my girl Lauren, what's good with you?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy Sunday. It was a great day of basketball. Ended the season on a high note. So I'm ready to talk about it with you guys too.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, listen, before we start though, don't forget to follow us, man, on our social media pages and everything. Y'all know what it is. Twitter, the 9450, Instagram, the 9450 underscore, TikTok, the 9450 underscore, YouTube at the 9450. Yo, so it's here. We here. South Carolina has done it. National champions. Congratulations to them. They started out the game down 10-0, then 20-9. But then they calmed down, got back into the game, playing that South Carolina basketball, dominated the paint, scoring 48 points in the paint, dominant on the boards, out-rebounding Iowa 51-29, 18 offensive rebounds. They scored 30 points off those second chance opportunities as well. The deeper team outscored Iowa 37-0 in bench points. Lauren, it was just a better team. Caitlin goes off in that first quarter, scoring 18 points. And they just settled in, locked in, and did what they had to do to win this game and stuff. Also, South Carolina last year couldn't really hit the three. This year, they shot 8 for 19 from the three. Even when Iowa made it a game, we South Carolina, didn't let up. They kept them at arm's length. So it was a really good game. Kata, what was your initial thoughts on this game?
Well, the initial thoughts were obviously exactly what we've kind of been talking about all week long. From a game of run standpoint, we knew that Iowa was going to come out swinging. We didn't anticipate too much. South Carolina being a little bit laxed in the beginning of the game, but obviously they were able to settle down. And I've been all tournament long talking about how teams can walk other teams down and get themselves acclimated and acquainted to playing in the basketball that they've been playing all year long. And it looked like this was the opposite. We've seen in the tournament where sometimes if Iowa comes out a little sluggish, comes out a little hesitant, they are able to settle down and walk their respective opponent down and end up taking leads and keeping leads. We saw the invert of that tonight in the national championship game. We saw that South Carolina came out a little lax. They came out a bit lull, and they were then able to settle in and walk Iowa down. And once they took the lead, it was no more of letting up. They continued to keep their foot on Iowa's neck. And you have to give so much credit to the South Carolina women's basketball team and Coach Don Staley for doing an amazing job in doing that. So I think that from my initial thoughts were the game went exactly how I thought it would go. So what about you, Lauren?
So I was actually shocked that they came out so flat. It's to be expected in a national championship game, but I didn't think it was going to be like 20-9. I was like, sheesh, like they're not doing anything that they have been doing all season long. So I was a little bit shocked by that, but I wasn't shocked by the outcome because South Carolina has just been better than everyone, hence their undefeated record. They're just too deep. I think the things that we have been touching on literally all season with them having a deep bench and their ability to rebound and shoot the three-pointer this year, I think you literally saw all of that in this game today. You saw them knock down a three. You also saw them, like DA said, win the rebounding battle. I think it was 51-29. So, like I said before, they also just shot the ball better. They shot 47.9% from the field and 42% from long distance. So They were rebounding the ball better. They were shooting the ball better. And then they had production from the bench. I mean, that's just a recipe for winning, you know? Iowa had absolutely no answer for Cardoso. And I was getting irritated in the beginning of the game because they weren't feeding her the ball as much as I thought they needed to. She's just a big body out there. I know we're going to go through individual players, but I think she really set the tone in regards to when they start coming back because they literally couldn't stop her. So yeah, I mean that's my initial thoughts, but we'll get further into breaking down the players that kind of stepped up.
Yeah, you know what though? Like this is officially that Dawn Staley era, man. You know, one of 5 WBB coaches with 3 championships. You know, I really love how she kept her team together at the beginning when Iowa came out punching, and how she made the adjustments, like putting Raven Johnson on Caitlin, which we'll get into. And it was pretty much all good from there, man. You know, like much respect to Dawn Staley. You know, she's a legend. I'm very happy for her. I'm very happy for this state. And this is like we said already, like K-Dot, we said it, me and Lauren talked about it. This is her greatest coaching performance ever. And then, like, you know, off the court, what's that word? Class personified. Like all you hear when people talk about Dawn Staley is either her influence or like, oh, she's like a mother to me. I can go to her, like this, that, and the other. Like one of the ultimate leaders, man, like an amazing leader of women when it comes to this coaching thing. And like, I'm just really happy for her because it's like she just deserves all the good, like what you said, Lauren. Like she really do deserve it because like the stuff that she goes through, like even the comments, which we will not get into from this weekend and everything, like how she answered everything with class, like what she said about Caitlin Clark was so classy. Like she's just so dope to me. I wish that every young lady can have a coach like Dawn Staley and everything. So what's your thoughts on Dawn?
I mean, I agree. I think that if you watch the presser or any type of media talking to the players, they always say, I want to do this for my team. I want to do this for my coach. So you can tell that Dawn has a special relationship with them all. And anytime you can give 5-star, you know, athletes to come to a program where they're not guaranteed playing time, where they could go anywhere else in the league, I mean, in the country, when you can get 5-star athletes to do that and buy into the system, like that automatically shows me that you're a good coach. Because like I said before, a lot of those players on the bench can go and start anywhere else in the country. So the fact that she has that special ability to have them buy in and lock in for a 38 game season is just incredible. And the scariest part is, and we've been saying this too, like they're going to continue to get better. Like, yes, they're losing 6-7 Cardoso, but everyone else is pretty much coming back. And then they're adding Joyce Edwards to it. So, you know, it's the dynasty is now, and it's like you said, it's Dawn Staley's era. What are we calling her now? Louis Vuitton Dawn.
You know what's crazy though? Before you go, K-Dot, like also like she is 109-3. And nobody really talks about that because of what, like, you know, what Gino did over the last 3 years. 109 wins and 3 losses. You know, and people don't bring that up, which is wild, insane. And also with Dawn Staley and her influence, she influences players that's not even on her team. You know,
like wrote on Twitter today.
Yeah, exactly. Even with Sanaya Rivers, still in contact and everything, still being that support beam that she can lean on whenever she goes through something. You know, like she's like one of the all-time great people, man. And like, listen, Dawn, come on the show, please, so we can give you all your flowers. Listen, you know, we'll figure it out. We got to get you on the show because we really love and care about you and everything that you stand for, man. You know, amazing coach, and I'm just happy for her, to be honest. Go ahead, Kayla.
Yeah, and you guys hit every nail on the head in regards to how great Coach Dawn Staley is, and what I want to say from this standpoint is there's not a lot of us. And what I mean by us, there's not a lot of us in the Black community that can see what Dawn Staley has represented for us. A couple months, maybe almost a year ago, I can't even say a couple months, maybe a year ago, I did this thread where I kind of gave homage and to all the pioneers of hip hop, and what the women in hip hop has done for our culture. And I coined Dawn Staley as the Queen Latifah of women's basketball, because
I like
Queen
that.
Latifah, from a hip hop standpoint, was not only a renaissance for women in hip hop, but also one of the original pioneers. Besides, of course, the OG pioneers like a Shy Rock, and all of those. But for Queen Latifah to take hip hop to the next level from a mainstream standpoint, Dawn Staley has done that and more for women's college basketball and for college basketball and basketball, period. She started as a player with the national team. She started even before then at Virginia, where we keep talking about how Pat Summitt was having nightmares about this point guard from Virginia. And Dawn Staley has done that for, again, not only us, but it goes to show how much we appreciate her, and it goes to show how classy she is, because she always mentioned everyone else before herself and before her team. And I know it's Sunday, but when she talks about her faith in the Almighty God, listen, it holds no favors, it holds no purpose. She knows who she believes in, and by that, she's going to get all of the flowers, all of the accolades, and all of the good things that's going to come to her. So yes, she has began this dynasty, and me and you, DA, talked about this maybe 2 years ago. We said with this class coming in, we won't be surprised if we see 3 or 4 after this one. We said that she was going to win the net. We said maybe a year ago that she was going to win the national championship, and she would win 3 or 4 more with the class that's coming and with the class that she already has with Tessa, with Malaysia, and they're the starters of this new regime of women's basketball that we're seeing.
And we even called it undefeated. I know,
and we did indeed call it. We did say it was undefeated. We did say that they would go undefeated this year. We did.
The reason why it's just because of how good her team is, and the only way they lose is if they beat themselves.
Yep.
That's the thing with SC. They beat themselves, and that's it. When they're locked in, it's hard to beat them and stuff. But Kate, a good point on calling Dawn Staley Queen Latifah. I like that. That was a dope analogy, brother. So who's Lisa Bluter then to you?
I don't know. Next question.
Next question.
All right, yo, that's funny. I had to throw the hip hop. That's why I was smiling. You know, I got the wine and the big. We lit. But all right, yo, let's talk about player spotlights, and we're gonna start off with Camila Cardoso. 15 points, 17 rebounds, 3 blocks, Final Four most outstanding player. She imposed her will on the game. You know, she's just too overwhelming, man, for my Hannah Stokey. You know, that Iowa front court and everything. They had no answer.
Zero.
And, she was amazing. She was amazing. And I really want to talk about her draft standing. And from your opinion, also everybody else in the comments too, y'all more than welcome to chime in. I personally starting to think that Los Angeles Sparks at number 2 is in play. I know everybody talk about Rakia Jackson. I know that. I get it. I know that. But I also think that Camilla's not going past 3. You know, her ceiling is way higher than I thought. I think that she can definitely thrive in the WNBA on the offensive end as well. And Kata, you know, we talk about this all the time, how I rave about Dawn Staley with post players, with what she do. We've seen it with Aja Wilson. We've seen it with Aaliyah Boston. And now we see it with Camilla. You know, we see how she runs in transition, right? Lauren, we talked about that. How fast she is in transition. She got great hands, high IQ. She can protect the rim. Her body's already pro ready. You know, I just feel like whoever's getting her is getting a really, really good player. Like, she's just a force in the paint, 6'7", you know, she's just dope to me. And I feel like this game today, I was really watching her play in big moments. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, she's being like the steadying force. She's doing what Liv Boston did during her championship run, just being that force right there in the paint where you could rely on. She played really good basketball today, and thank God you can got a guard and Raven Johnson that can throw a post entry pass. Now, at first, I was complaining about why they're not giving her the ball early and often. The game was just moving a little bit too fast. It was really fast paced. Iowa was pushing, so I was like, all right, cool, I understand. But when that game slowed down, there was nothing nobody can do. Surprisingly, it's like she took 14 shots and only made 7, but man, like I think that next week, if any WNBA evaluators listening to this or whatever y'all doing, take a long look at Camila Cardoso, man. She's not going past 3. If she ends up in LA because she's at 2, or she's going to Chicago. Like, what's your thoughts, Lauren?
I mean, I think, like you said, she's just been incredible all tournament. She's actually improved her numbers from the regular season. During the tournament, she averaged 16.6 points per game, 10.8 rebounds per game, and was shooting 63% from the field. So she had a solid season in general, and then stepped it up a notch for the tournament. So I think WNBA GMs and their scouting teams are going to look at this tournament and say, hey, she's we need to pick her a little bit higher than we initially intended to. Because even me, I think I'm very impressed by her this tournament. I'm usually a little bit hard on her because you're 6'7". You're bigger than everyone out there. You should be better, right? You're close to, you put your hands up like this and you're touching the rim damn near, right? So she showed me a lot this tournament. Like you said, she's great in transition. She can get up and down the floor. It's not many times where, she's getting beat on defense because she's not running the floor full speed.
Mm-hmm.
She has great hands. She can pass out the double well, which has improved this season. I think she has a little bit of footwork. I think it could definitely improve. But I think that she has definitely improved her game from last year. And I think, her ceiling is very, very high. Like, she's still a lot of raw talent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is still like, yes, Dawn Staley has coached her, but she still has so much room for improvement and growth. I agree that like she has to be at least top 4 in the draft. Easily. What you think, Kayla?
I got her above Cam Brink. I'm sorry. At this point, I have to. Cam Brink is going to foul. You know what I'm saying? She's going. Lauren, you complain about it. She fouls out too much, and that slim build, man. That slim build.
Do you think Cameron Brink's fouling out in the 2 games in the tournament? Do you think that hurts her draft stock?
I think it does. To be honest, because she was making. And I'm sorry for over talking, Kate. My bad. She was making a lot of dumb fouls, to be honest. You know, and you can't really do that in the W and stuff. They're going to exploit that, and it's not even a knock on Cam Brink. Any other, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing Camilla longer now. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm watching. Now I'm able to see more and stuff. And I'm just like, oh snap! Like, no, she's really good.
She hasn't even really tapped into all her potential. That's the scary part.
And from when she came from Syracuse to now, oh my God, Kate, like from Syracuse to now is crazy. It's night and day.
Yeah,
it's night and day. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead, man. I'll get excited.
Remember when she was at Syracuse, she was ACC Freshman of the Year. A lot of people don't even know that.
She was.
Yeah.
So I do agree, right? Camilla in her draft stock. I mean, she wasn't going past 4 anyway. Let's just keep it there. She wasn't going past 4. I do think right now, as of right now, my mock draft has Caitlin Clark, Rakia Jackson, Cameron Brink, and Camila Cardoso. If it were to stay the way that it is, I think that Camila did indeed make herself known that 2 is definitely for the taking. But if it goes the way I think it needs to go, she's going to LA regardless. And I think that it would be crazy for LA to look past Camilla at 2 or 4. And it all depends on Chicago. It really all depends on Chicago, because if Chicago does indeed take Rakia at 3, like how I'm looking at based off of the mainstream, it's a no-brainer that LA is going to take Camilla at 4. But I do agree with you. I do agree with both of you. She's definitely something to consider at number 2. But I think right now, based off of the new mock drafts, by the way, mock draft 2.0 is going to be out tomorrow. Y'all look out for that. She's probably going to stand pat at where I have it at 4. But I do agree that if she is top 3, there's no argument.
Yep.
Absolutely no argument if she is top 3.
Yeah.
But I'll keep it that way. But one other thing, and we can move forward with Camilla. Camilla has such the great ability to rim run. I keep talking about what the WNBA stands for nowadays is not really too much back to the basket anymore. It's definitely still considered in the WNBA, but when you can rebound and when you can rim run off of the rebound, when you're passing the outlet pass and going in between the blocks and having your hand up and ready to catch the ball and ready to lay the ball up, that is something that is very, very polished. That is something that's very, very it's very well known in the WNBA. I mean, we've seen the likes of, let's say, Bree Jones from Connecticut. We've seen Elizabeth Williams from Chicago. We've seen Tierra McGowan from Dallas. These are the types of bigs that when they're running, you have to look for them. Jonquel Jones as well. When she is kind of lurking in between the blocks and not veering off into the on the wing. So Camilla Cardoso, in between the blocks, once she grabs the rebound, gives you the outlet, she sprints. And as tall as she is at 6'7", she can get from one end to the court to the next in less than 5 seconds almost, it looks like. So I think that with that being said, Camilla is like going to be so special. And people forget that Camilla has been playing with grown women since she was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
She's been playing with her Brazilian national team for forever. Yeah. So when you also have that in your arsenal, I mean, it's it's bar none that Camilla Cardoso is definitely going to be very special in the league. So
I think everyone in the chat is agreeing with us. Yeah, I mean, everybody, Cardoso has high upside. I feel like there are moments where she can be more aggressive offensively and defensively, but definitely not going past 3.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Shout outs to Maddie too. She said that the Sparks is going to get Rakia, and either Cam or Cardoso is a win-win. I agree with that too. I like the Sparks, man. Don't blow this, please. We're going to be in New York. We're going to be in New York. Don't blow this draft in our first time going to New York on our first event. Don't do it.
Listen, I got smoke for the Sparks organization forever.
Yeah, I know, man. Also Marcus Thomas said something really interesting. That's why I hate the Cambage comparisons with Cardoso, just because of their height, completely different play styles. That's true too as well.
I agree.
That's my first time seeing Cardoso and Cambage in the same sentence. And I have not heard that. No, I just never heard the comparisons and everything. Before we move on to the next one, Vernon got a question. You know what I mean? Our loyal listener. Lauren, are you a Mystic?
Shout out to Vernon, man. Shout out to Vernon, man.
Don't shout about too much now.
I know he goes back and forth.
Exactly.
I didn't appreciate that he called my esteemed co-host Freddie Doug. Yo,
all right, you didn't have to bring it back up though. You ain't have to bring it back up.
I didn't appreciate. I'm on your side, man.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we already passed that. We already passed that name on to somebody else, though, right? Freedom Freddie Doug. We already know. Come on.
All right. A Mystics fan. I'm a Candace Parker fan, but of course the Mystics is the home team, so I root for them, but they haven't really made good decisions lately. So yeah. That's my answer. I go where Candace Parker goes.
They're the Virginia Mystics now. They're going over there somewhere.
Nah, they canceled it. They're not going
they canceled it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh wow. Okay, so
They're not going to Arlington, Alexandria, Tyson.
I thought they were
Tyson's corner.
Langley, Chantilly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chantilly, my stomping grounds right there. All right, let's move on to another player spotlight. We got to talk about Roman's revenge, Raven Johnson.
Let's
and
talk
her-
about it because
and
I got some smoke.
her defensive masterpiece on Caitlin Clark. I'm gonna let you hold this one down, K-Dot, because man, like from what I seen, listen, I know it's Sunday, we was getting that Sunday cooking. I mean, Caitlin Clark was chefing up some amazing stewed Brie Hall. I'm talking about, man, she was flaming Brie.
Cooked, boy, on skates out there, cooked.
Man, for real, she was definitely on skates, man. It was crazy. But that, like I said, that adjustment, man, it was a wrap after that. It was a wrap after that. And I just love defense, man, to be honest. Defense first, man, for me. And I just love how Raven took on the challenge, more so of the revenge thing. And it wasn't even like a scoring thing. She was like, listen, you're not going to do that. Think about it. She was a part of that 41 Caitlin gave them last year.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin's a part of South Carolina having 3 losses over the last 3 years. Caitlin Clark got one of those wins on that, So I loved how Raven took it personal. I loved it. And as much as like I love Caitlin Clark game, I also love competitive basketball. I love when players, rise up to the occasion, when it matters most. And that's what Raven did. Kate, out the floor is yours. I ain't going to talk too much, man. Go ahead, man.
All right, the gavel has stricken. So let me holler at y'all for a minute. Raven Johnson, my point guard. Shout out to you, my sister, for holding it down this evening. And I wanna just kind of say, when you go from a wave to a wave, it definitely does my heart real good, because that wave last year kind of hurt my heart. But looking at that wave for Raven this year and that smile made it even better for me as a basketball fan and as a former point guard that can defend. I had a tweet that go viral today, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, for those who are listening, but I went in. I went into my bag right quick, and if I can find it, I said that Caitlin Clark, defended by Raven Johnson, 27% shooting. She went 3 for 11 for 7 points. That's how you win your assignment. Her assignment was won because of that. And had a lot of people, show some love. Have a lot of people, with the seatbelt, gifs and all of that. I loved it. And then you have always them haters. So I'm going to give those haters a little bit more context when it comes to Raven Johnson's defense. All right. So I'm going to give you guys the full Clark scoring stat line for each quarter. Yeah, in the first quarter, she was cooking. 57% shooting, went 4 for 7 for 18 points. Had 5 points, if I'm not mistaken, at the free throw line. Very, very good. Very, very good in the first quarter. Not taking anything away from that. But Lord, in that second quarter, Raven Johnson said, let me get her. That second quarter, she shot 16% from the field, 1 for 6 for 3 points. To go on the third quarter, 29% shooting, 2 for 7 for 4 points. Fourth quarter, 29% shooting, 2 for 7 for 5 points. Not to mention, Raven forced 4 turnovers on her. And we all saw that last turnover that led to the halftime score of 49-46. Caitlin Clark wasn't paying attention, and Raven said, give me those cookies, please, and thank you. Raven Johnson did her thing and continued to do her thing throughout the entire game. So for those who wants to say, oh, but Caitlin had 30 points, she was 10 for 28. What do you say about that? Y'all always talking about Juju and her efficiency. Why don't y'all talk about Caitlin and her efficiency or inefficiencies?
Cook.
Holla.
Cook.
Holla. You feel me? And we're live on this. So any of the Caitlin Clark lovers out there, come listen. School is in session, my brothers and sisters.
Jump ball and study hall for the win. See, there you go right there. Caitlin Clark defended by Raven Johnson. 27% shooting, 311, 7 points, man. Raven did the job.
Ball don't lie.
Well, yeah,
the ball don't lie. The ball
Hey, look
don't
at
lie.
Vernon. I'm here and listening.
The ball don't lie. Listen,
what's your thoughts?
It's all about defense at the end of the day. It's all about defense at the end of the day. And what we said in the previous shows, offense sells tickets, defense wins games, rebounding wins championships. We saw the rebounder disparity. Let's not even get into that. But Lauren, the floor is yours.
Hold on, I want to go before Lauren, and because I want to say what Terry Suggs says. That's how he said. That's how I felt about Flau'jae guarding Caitlin. Flau'jae didn't want no smoke the whole game. Flau'jae was supposed to go to Coach Mulkey and say, "Listen, Coach, I want this matchup right here." But she waited till what, for 4 minutes left in the game?
Yeah, I was cooked by them. I
Go
mean,
ahead, yeah.
honestly, don't even go to the coach. Just go pick her up. Like, she was getting. I mean, yeah, just don't go pick her up. So I will say that Dawn made a good adjustment that she didn't make in the Final Four. You know, she was doubling Caitlin Clark this year. She started off with Breezy and then she went to Raven, and I think that was so pivotal in the game changing. Like, just that simple adjustment changed literally the trajectory of the game. So I just want to, I mean, you said all the stats. I just wanted to shout out Raven. Had Caitlin Clark the best scorer ever is what, the numbers say, right? In hell, in purgatory, in prison, boy. Like, she was locked down and she was doing it without fouling, like she was playing her straight up, wasn't in foul trouble. Just shout out to Raven overall, because this is a kid who last year people were leaving her wide open, like literally wide open, daring her to shoot, and she was either scared to shoot or not knocking down the shots. This year, like she said, I put work into my game, and you can tell on the floor, like you can tell that she has gotten better. She's literally doubled her points production. She's doubled her rebounding from last year, and she increased her shooting percentage from the field. So she went from 36.8 last year, to 45.8%. So for all my statisticians, that's a 9% increase, which is huge, like for off season. So you're going from someone that they were literally leaving you open, and yeah, she didn't have the best shooting night tonight, but she did what she had to do in order for them to get the win. Like, that's all that matters. So yes, she shot poorly from the field, but who cares? Like, you stopped. 30 points isn't really stopping somebody, but if it's Caitlin Clark, 30 points, we're going to take the 30 points and stop her playmaking abilities at least. Held her to only 5 assists as well. Like, they were moving around and playing good defense where she could only, I mean, granted, her teammates did miss some easy shots, but they kept her to 5 assists where she was getting 12 one game, 10 another game. So Raven did her job and she showed up for her team. And I mean, it was literally a masterclass. Like, it was a masterclass defensive assignment. She did great. I mean, I didn't expect. I knew she could defend, but I didn't expect that. Did y'all expect that?
No, honestly, no. No. I thought the game plan would have been let Caitlin cook from a scorer standpoint and kind of suppress everybody else. To be honest with you, that's what I thought the game plan would be, and do it by committee. Bree would get the start. Obviously, Bree would get the start. Then you will see Raven. Then you'll probably even throw Malaysia in there. You'll throw Tessa in there just to see different bodies, just so Caitlin can just make decisions or make the inappropriate decisions. But I did not expect Raven to just say, you know what, forget all of that. Let me get her.
Yeah, yes. Hold on, Vernon.
Must prisoner, baby.
Vernon, we very much so did. We very much so did watch the same game. Like, the first quarter when Breezy was on her, Caitlin was cooking. It's no debate about that. 18 points, she was absolutely cooking. But when Raven was on her, let's not act like she didn't have her in hell. What game was you watching?
Yeah, Vernon was definitely watching the Knicks play.
But he drunk off the Caitlin juice, so I get it.
It. Now, like, if it wasn't for Raven, man, Caitlin was about to be on some master class herself, because what she was doing in the first quarter, that first quarter was, listen, that first quarter was crazy. I was like,
Insane.
Absolutely.
oh.
Absolutely.
But
And
then,
very efficient. And very efficient, might
very
I add.
efficient. And you know what though? I don't know why I didn't put Malaysia on the player spotlight, but real quick side note from her, that's the game right there when she came in. When she came in and pushed tempo, able to push the tempo, and then you got Raven Johnson on the other side of that backcourt defending Caitlin like that. That was dope. That was dope. And you even heard Coach Bluter say, she's dangerous when she's in open court.
Yeah.
Malaysia she's just special, man.
She's special.
She's just special, man. Like
we've been talking about Malaysia, man. And remember, I told you, and I said this on Jump Ball and Study Hall with Vic. Shout out to Vic. We said that Malaysia in tournament moments, South Carolina High School, you have to win 5 to win a championship. It's the same thing in the NCAA. So she's just moving from her high school bag into her college bag. You still got to win 5 to win a championship.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's darn near undefeated when she goes into a playoff setting. This is a playoff setting, right? To win a championship. So win one and you move forward, survive and advance. And in this case, Malaysia is, like I said, darn near undefeated in her entire championship-like career. And we saw it today.
Yeah,
facts.
I agree. She, as soon as she got into the game changed. And I was wondering, I'm like, why isn't Dawn putting her in? Like, it was like an instant tempo change. She got out, started pushing the ball, forcing them to go in transition. I mean, and let's just talk about the gutsy freshman. To literally step on this type of stage and play the way they did. I called it. I'm gonna listen. Y'all better start listening to me, right? I know what I'm talking about. I said that Tessa Johnson was going to be the X factor. That kid just has it. She is fearless. She never shies away from the moment. She was just letting the clip go. She was just letting that thing go, and it was going in. She was shooting it confidently. She wasn't hesitating. She can get down and defend. This team is really good, and they're just going to continue to get better. Do you realize this? It's a sold out arena, right? You're going against arguably one of the best college players to ever play. The pressure is on your team because you're 37-0, right? And these freshmen, the score was 20-9. Y'all come in and just turn up like that. Just shout out to them like that. I think it's very overlooked. These are 17, 18-year-old kids. You know what I'm saying? That stepped into the moment, took advantage, and you can just tell that Dawn and their teammates have instilled tremendous confidence in them. Confidence in them.
I agree. And it's funny because Tessa's on the player spotlight right now for us on this podcast and everything. I think she's a star. I'm gonna say it right now.
Absolutely.
I have K-Dot, since we've been talking women's basketball, I have not been wrong a lot of it. I think I have a 98% success rate in my predictions and stuff like that. Last year, called Camila Cardoso All-American, and she did the All-American thing. Said that SC was going to go undefeated. They go undefeated and win it all. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm going to call it again. I'm going to say that Tessa Thompson is a star, yo. I'm sorry, Tessa Thompson. I'm sorry, my bad. Tessa Johnson is a star.
The wine already kicking your ass?
Yeah, always chill. It's the wine. I filled it up too, so you know what I mean. It's empty now, but we good though. It's all gone now. Tessa, man, what she had 19.7, 11 from the field, made 3 threes. Somebody said Tessa didn't give a fuck. Yes, she damn sure did not. Her new name is No Fucks Gives. That's it. That's her new name, No Fucks Given, because she out there playing like she was a senior. And even with Malaysia, right? But talk about Tessa, your most steady hand was a freshman. It was crazy in this game right here. Because you seen them when they faced it a little bit when Caitlin Clark went on that little run by herself, hitting the threes, crowds going crazy and stuff. And then you just see Tessa just right there. And I said on the last show, when you said, Lauren, like you said, X Factor, remember I said Tessa Johnson? I mean, yeah, she don't make no mistakes at all. She doesn't. Every time I see her, it's just always a positive play. She's going to be something and I know that we're going to talk about, the 2024, 25 at the end of the show. But she's just special, man.
Hey,
everybody's saying it.
Tessa. Tessa. Oh, Tessa, but not wow, but to add on. So Jasmine Carson last year for LSU, I believe, scored 21 points. And I think she scored she hit 7 threes. Iowa got cooked again by another player off the bench. This time it was a freshman by the name of Tessa Johnson.
Yeah. But
and that midi is crazy too. Y'all, when she gives you that up fake and then swings it right into the midi, man, listen, shout out to the midi as well, man. What we always talk about, the mid-range maybe we need to talk about the mid-range mafia again.
We will have that. We will have that podcast episode because it is. You're right. We definitely need to because Zaya James is on the mid-range mafia. We just got to know what part of the gang she with. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what part of the gang she on, but she's definitely gang. Juju's gang too. You know what I'm saying? Part of the mid-range mafia. Yeah. Lauren don't know about this. This is the first time hearing about this. She knew. She's new to this. But
I'm pretty intelligent, so I can figure it out. Thank you.
Yeah, I know you are. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! All right,
context is my boy.
I love it.
Didn't you miss us, K-Dot?
Hey, listen, yeah.
Come on back here. You don't need to do a podcast by yourself, talking to yourself every day for 40 minutes. You're wilding. Come back to the gang.
Look, Vernon talk about you, DA. He said, now, well, I'm noting about Stokey because you said she was going to be an All-American.
So yes, put it on note, brother. Go ahead. You know, and speaking of Hannah Stokey, yo, she missed like 3 bunnies, right? But you know what? I'm going to commend her for battling with Camilla though. Like she made as dominant Camilla was when she imposed the will. Yo, Hannah wasn't backing down, man, and she was hitting some tough shots. She was keeping them in the game a little bit right there and everything. Like Hannah,
she wasn't backing down, but she was still getting dogged.
Yeah, she was getting dogged. I know, but like the way that I just like how she competes, man, and as a sophomore too, as well. Like you really can't knock that, man. You know, she's still an underclassman and everything. Like I do believe that she has a bright future. Now, like you said, Lauren, there's questions like when she's not playing with a transcendent player, how that's going to go. We shall see. You know what I'm saying? We shall see. But I do like how she competes, though, man. And, like, what she did to Aaliyah Edwards the game before, you know what I'm saying? Like, said a lot for me, Cameron said that Madison Booker's on the midi game and everything. Yo, Vernon, listen, I hope you hoop and bust your ass. Listen, you could listen. I like Hannah Stokey's game. That's all.
I mean, I like her game, too. I just don't know if All-Americans in her future for next year. Okay. I need to see more. I just need to see more without Caitlin because everyone looks good when you have a transcendent player playing. I would go out there and probably get 10. So
if you get 10, that means 10.
Look,
10 is
out of shape playing with Caitlin.
Yeah, all you gotta do is run. Just run.
Right. Stuff, that literally because she will pass it to you in your catching pocket, and
Yeah. Yo, another one I want to give some love to is Chloe Kitts too. She started off slow. She was annoying me. Chloe Kitts was annoying me. I know that. Listen, and I told her, I tweeted it out too. And then soon after I said this tweet, she woke up. I said they need to move her man to the front of the stage, to the front of the court, so she could see him, and then she's gonna play right or whatever. And she did. She had 10 points and 11 rebounds, or 11 points, 10 rebounds. She had a double-double. I think that with Chloe though, what she got to work on this offseason is being more consistent. We see the glimpse, like we see it, we see it. She's nice.
Yeah,
she has a great
tools are
future.
there. The tools are there. Yeah.
This dude say he can play horse. Yeah, the tools is there with Chloe, but definitely I want to see more consistency though. I want to see some more. And Dawn Staley got the hierarchy thing, so she's going to get a lot of chances next year to show what she can do and stuff, and I hope that she do it because I see it. I see a lot where.
All right, I'm asking y'all this question on the spot. Do they go undefeated again next year?
I'll say yeah. They haven't lost yet, so I'll say yeah. I'll say yeah. To be honest,
South Carolina go undefeated next year.
Honestly, I can see it. And the reason why I can see it again is because they're going to be just as stacked with Joyce Edwards. And Joyce Edwards, I'm telling you guys right now, she's going to have one of the most underrated tools that Coach Dawn Staley hasn't even put out on her Swiss Army knife yet. Like,
save it for the end of the show, K-Dot. Save it for the end. We got it. It's on the notes. It's on the notes for the end of the show.
Okay.
Let's talk Caitlin Clark though, right? Let's give her flowers. This is Lauren's segment.
My segment. Listen, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
I started off. Now listen, regarding Caitlin Clark, right? I feel like she owes college basketball nothing. I feel like she lifted the game to a new level with her play style. And I feel like, she's 0-2 in national championship games, but her path to the championships wasn't easy, especially this year in 2024. It wasn't easy at all. She, finished her career with 3,951 points. Her career stat line is 28 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists a game. Most points, men's Division I basketball, whatever. About to be #1 draft pick. I just feel like, how she had the whole world buzzing with her play. The games is breaking attendance, whether you're in person or you're watching it on TV, and I just feel like regardless of what anybody feels about Caitlin Clark, which is mostly media pushing, and then, obviously you got the Iowa fans and their nonsense and stuff. Caitlin just does no wrong. I feel like that she definitely deserves her flowers for what she done for the game this season, for the legacy of Iowa. And hopefully it continues as she moves on to the WNBA. Also want those new fans to stay in college basketball too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can watch both. I do believe but there's got to be a face, right? Moving forward. And I think that's Juju Watkins too as well. But we'll get into that. But what Caitlin Clark has done, she's special. She's special, man. She's special. And I have nothing but good things to say about her. And I cannot wait to see how this game translates and stuff. I do think that defensively, how to defend her, these last 2 games gave a lot of players the blueprint on how to defend her. You know what I'm saying? So the next step is she athletic enough to get past that first line of defense and still can create versus that back line of the defense and stuff? Because we've seen she'll do all her moves, Ravens right there. She do all her moves, Nika Mule was right there the whole time and everything. So that's the next test. And a lot of people don't talk about that. They talk about the scoring, but that's what makes us the best podcast in the land, because we talk about stuff like that, like how she's going to fare in the W with that. You know what I'm saying? Also, I was surprised today too that coach didn't run Caitlin off screens, like how Boston do with Paul Pierce. What are you doing? You got to shoot her. You know what I'm saying? Obviously she's not shaking them, set them picks or whatever. Also, Lisa, please, Coach Bluter, recruit some bigs, big bigs, not 6'3" bigs, not 6'2" bigs. We need 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Go get them. I don't figure out, Iowa got a great football program. Y'all got a lot of money, NIL them or whatever you got to do, but you got to get some bigs. But Caitlin though was special. I really enjoyed watching her play, and I cannot wait to see what she does at the next level. And listen, we heard what Dawn Staley said. She's one of the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? Hey, whatever Dawn Staley say right now is law. she's one of the GOATs and stuff. And I was just in awe just watching her play. That first quarter, I was just oh, she's going for it.
Yeah.
And even though they lost and stuff like that, I do feel what she did for basketball was dope. Yo, all right. So what's the GOAT standing? That's where you ended up at, right?
So
Lauren?
hold on, wait. Let me just
set it up.
Let me also just give her flowers, because a 22-year-old kid with the weight of the world on her shoulders, trying to push the game of women's basketball forward. I can't imagine the immense pressure that she has to go through, or she had to go through this entire time, and the pressure will continue as she goes into and transitions to the WNBA. So I wanted to say that first. In regards to greatest of all time, like I said before, my stance has not changed. You have to win a championship. I don't care that she went to Iowa. That was her choice. She made that choice to go to Iowa. I don't care. Is she in the conversation? Yes, she's in the conversation, but can she be deemed as one of the greatest? Sure. Whatever floats your boat. But for someone to say she's the greatest without hardware, we're not having a conversation, because you're moving the goalposts, because in every other basketball league, whether it's the NBA, WNBA, we're talking about the NCAA, we're talking about, do they have a championship? Do they have hardware? So, I mean, one of the greatest, I'm okay with that because of what she did and the mark that she has left on women's basketball in general for college. I'm fine with that. The greatest college basketball player all time, I'm not rocking.
No, I agree with you on that, and I do. As far as of the great, as of the GOAT debate, my bad, the wine is kicking. I don't think Caitlin Clark should be in it because, like you said, the title doesn't count. But as far as the conversation, And it's funny, I'm about to contradict myself because I said it one time about Allen Iverson about impact. Impact shouldn't mean you should be a part of a GOAT conversation as far as culture. But I feel like with college basketball on the women's side and how it's growing, and then CC spearheading that, obviously the NBA is the NBA. I feel like, that she definitely deserves to be in the conversation because of what she did. Like, she was the face, and she showed up like pretty much every game. She showed up and put on a performance and stuff like that. Like being the face is hard. It's tough.
Absolutely.
It's tough.
And
like
especially when every night all eyes on you, from the fans to the opposing team, they're making game plan defensive schemes specifically to stop you.
And also this, like every arena she steps in, a lot of schools made so much money this year. Whether when Caitlin Clark was at home, when Caitlin Clark was on the road, seats was sold out. You know what I'm saying? And I know like everybody brings race and this, that, and the other. Now that shit is talent right there. That's because that's skill. You know what I'm saying? That's hoop. That's hooping right there. So I do feel like there's a conversation with Caitlin Clark, as far as like, the GOAT or whatever. But as far as like the GOAT for real though, like she can't be in it. It's like once you win multiple championships and stuff like that, and if there's two people that's involved in the greatest of basketball conversation, then there can't be a third or a fourth or a fifth or a sixth. You know what I mean? Like Stewie, if you want to say she had the best college career ever, she went 4 for 4 most outstanding players of the Final Four. 3 out of the 4 years she was National Player of the Year. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a resume you can't beat. You know what I mean? I think that Stewie has a better college resume than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And that's crazy when you really think about it. Kareem got 3 or whatever, So, and then, Shamika Holdsclaw won 3 in a row. Then arguably, K-Dot, we did a playback with Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Miller was the greatest college basketball player of all time. They already said she's the GOAT. She's the greatest woman basketball player ever to ever walk this earth. And she didn't even play pro basketball. So the conversation just really ends and stuff. Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper or whatever. Like, it's hard. College basketball GOAT is really hard. You know what I'm saying? But like I would say, like from a performance output, I can say Caitlin is the GOAT as far as like a performance output. Look what she did with the scoring. As far as that,
Kelsey Plum was the GOAT last year. I mean,
you would have to. Obviously, that's the thing. We just started covering a couple of years ago. So like for that, I don't know nothing about that stuff.
I mean, but you saw the record. Because that's the record that Caitlin beat. So that means that
I will agree. I will say yes, as far as like the greatest scoring output, you know what I'm saying? But also was Kelsey Plum putting it on her back as what Caitlin Clark did too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
she actually was, and she led them to the Final Four in that 20, I believe it was 2017.
But I'm talking about like as much eyes is on watching women's basketball right now.
She can't control that though.
From an eye standpoint, So post COVID, we gotta come into context a little bit.
There you go.
So post COVID, obviously there has been 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times more eyes on the women's game than it had been prior to. And again, that's the powers that be. You can blame the powers that be that actually has the power to provide that to us, but never did because they were just ignorant and just pretty much push women sports to the side. And we can be transparent about that. It's evident. It's evident. So post COVID, yes, you could say because there are more eyes on it, more people realizing how good the product is from that standpoint. You can say that. But prior to that, I guarantee you, if the eyes were on it post COVID, pre-COVID, I think Kelsey Plum would be in that same type of conversation if we're being completely honest. So I mean that's fair. That's fair to assess.
That's a dive we need to go into, and we need to talk about the past too as well. Since we're getting a lot more casuals and stuff like that. Like me, I don't really get involved with the casuals when they arguing and everything like that. If we getting casuals coming, no. My thing is this: if we got a chance to get the casuals ears, why not talk to them about the past? Why not school them and stuff like think about it. When I first started, right, Kata, I was a super casual. Remember, I had to ask you how to say Benaja Laney's name. I didn't even know how to say her name and everything because it's spelt weird and everything. Like I really had to do a lot of work. It's all about the work that you want to put in if you really watch and women's basketball. And so when it was time for me to step in and talk it, I was able to talk it really good because like I really did the work. So like, I don't get into it with the casuals because I feel like that we could educate them more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
But this is my thing. Like,
but Lauren, you just want to fight anyway. Like you pick fights for me.
No, it's not that. It's the same way that I feel about privilege. Like I'm not educating you on it, right? I'm not educating you on basketball because Google and YouTube are free. Like the thing is,
hear me out though. Hear me out. I'm sorry to cut you off, but for business standpoint, like
I mean, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
you
know what I'm saying? All right, so you know what I'm at.
The thing is, people that sitting here arguing Caitlin Clark is the best player of all time. You've been watching for 3 years. You're not in this conversation. Like, we're not having I'm not like, what are we really talking about? How can you say that someone, if you only been watching for 3 years, how can you utter out your mouth that they're the best player ever? You only been watching for 3 years. Like, let me know when you get some longevity in it and when you have seen an array of players that actually have the skill set to, to be in the conversation of greatest of all time. Like, people have such recency bias, and we talk about it all the time, even with Asia Wilson and her voting for, the MVP voting. Like, it's recency bias and it's voters fatigue. It's all the same things. Like, it's, hell, I'm a huge Candace Parker fan, and somebody put her college highlights on the timeline like 2 weeks ago. And it reminded me of how great, you know what I'm saying? And I'm someone that literally watched every single game of Candace Parker from the McDonald's game to now. I probably watched 98% of all of her games, right? And so even me, as someone who's been watching college basketball faithfully since 2007, it reminded me of how good she was. Like, clearly I know how good she was, but that's my point is when time progresses, you know what I'm saying? That recency bias hits. Oh, Caitlin's hitting logo threes, which is great. It's bringing a new aspect to the game. But also, I think Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird hit it on the nose when they were on their broadcast. And they said that if Caitlin went to Connecticut, she wasn't going to be shooting logo threes. Lisa allowed her to play the way that she plays now. So when people compare it, I think me and Vernon were talking and he was like, well, nobody else is shooting logo threes. That don't mean that they can't. That means that they're playing within a system where they can. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that they can't with their ability. They're playing within a system that is more conducive to, playing within like the system and not shooting that kind of thing. Like you said, it's a heliocentric type of type of thing going on in Iowa, whereas across the country, other players aren't doing that because they don't have that leeway. So we have to keep that into consideration too. Is she doing this? Is she just this good because she's doing this, or can other players also do it, but they don't play for a coach that allows them to show that kind of skill set, right? And again, like I told Vernon as well, this whole shooting from 30, 35 feet wasn't happening really until Steph Curry. And then it started to trickle down to the women's game. So, you have to take everything into context when we're talking about the greatest of all time.
You know what's crazy too? What's crazy? Logo threes, a lot of players, because nobody's out there because the defense is not extended. You'd be surprised that I think Dame Lillard has like the best logo three percentage. I think he's like 50, 60% or something like that. So it's definitely a part of the game. And I also think you're right about that because there's more. I think AZ Fudd can definitely shoot from the logo. You know what I mean? Like AZ Fudd.
And like Maddie said, Sabrina was shooting deep. But again, it's multiple things. It's visibility, it's accessibility, it's more eyes on the game. So you guys are seeing it now. That doesn't mean that women prior could not do it. And that's what boils my blood, because it's like, oh, she's doing something so spectacular. Yeah, scoring on points is very spectacular, but she's not the first woman that can shoot that far.
And we don't talk about Jackie Stiles enough too when she was at Southeast Missouri State.
Kata, you're aging us. Okay,
I'm sorry. I apologize. Continue.
You're aging us now, but also this about the GOAT debate too. And I'm gonna tell you what ends the GOAT debate for me, as far as like why Caitlin Clark can't be the GOAT. And I'm gonna just say it's Shamika Holdsclaw. Not even saying that Shamika Holdsclaw is the GOAT, but there was real conversation when Shamika Holdsclaw was playing. Like, can she play in the NBA? That was a real conversation. Can Shamika Holdsclaw play in the NBA?
I remember
that was a real conversation. That wasn't no play thing right now. That was
and Shamika did it on both sides of the floor.
Yep, she sure did.
She still holds the records for all-time rebounds in Tennessee, men or women. man or woman. So like y'all just do a little bit more research before y'all come to me with the BS. That's all I'm asking. Like, just please. Google's free. It's very accessible now. Before you come to me with that, just do your homework, please. That's all I ask.
And this is Courtside Access with Lauren.
Period.
No,
but Vernon's right. He said Lisa had no choice but to let Clark do whatever she chooses. Absolutely. Yeah. You're absolutely correct.
All right, let's move forward real quick. Let's talk about the future of South Carolina, man. Repeat, we think that they can, right? Can they go undefeated? We kind of agree with that. They probably can.
I don't know if they'll go undefeated.
I think
I'm gonna say they won't lose more than 3 games though.
I can see that. I can see that. Okay. I can see both. I can see both. Yeah. Both going undefeated, but I can also see not losing more than more than 3 games. So yeah.
They got new players coming. They already got one that's on the bench right now that just came in, through. What's her name? Like Adele? I don't know how to say her name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. I got to see her play. I haven't really seen no footage of her and stuff, but they speak so highly of her as well. Obviously, we know Joyce Edwards, number 2 ranked player in the country, is coming in. And also think about it. Like I said, the Don hierarchy is moving up now. Players is moving up in that rotation now. Ashlyn Watkins. Let's go. It's going to be her next year. I can't wait to see what Chloe Kitts bring next year. Does Joyce start next year? That's going to be interesting. Do you start Malaysia and Raven next year, or is Tessa starting next year? Like they got
Pow coming back though.
Yeah, there you go. Never mind then.
Pow, yeah, she
Pow is indeed coming back.
And then think about it. Maybe they got somebody else in the portal we don't know. We don't know yet. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true too.
Maybe Haley Van Lith in the portal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the only 2 that will technically be leaving would be Camilla to the draft, and I believe Shakima. This was her last year. She might exercise her COVID year or not. I'm not too sure. I don't know if this is her 4th year or this is already her 5th year. I'm not too sure, but I think those were really the only 2. But everybody else, they'll be returning, and then you have the number 2 overall, and Joyce Edwards coming in. I mean,
who else they got coming in? Just her? Because I'm only hearing her name.
I believe it was just her and the young lady that came in January. Yeah. So she'll technically be a second semester freshman, or even a sophomore by the time the season starts, because obviously they take summer classes. So just like what Chloe did last year. Chloe should be a freshman this year. People forget.
Yeah.
Chloe should be a freshman this year. Yeah. Like a full-blown freshman, but she's a sophomore.
Yeah. Does Chloe, is she able to? No, COVID year runs out this year, so she probably don't have a COVID year.
Right. I don't think she would. I don't think she would be eligible for a COVID year.
Yeah. So she's going to have 2 years of really making it, because I do think Chloe is a pro, man. I think that she can definitely go there to the next level and stuff, man. But that's kind of dope that Don Staley, South Carolina is so good as a team that Don Staley can just go recruit one player.
Listen, this was supposed to be rebuilding year. Like, I don't think people really understand that. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year, and this team went 38-0. Won a national champion. Like,
perfection.
Special. Yeah,
perfection, literally.
Yeah, definitely.
What they're doing down there in South Carolina is very special.
And we're gonna close this episode out. But before we go, we'll give y'all like 2-3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes tops, to whatever questions y'all want to ask us to end this show and everything like that. So whatever questions y'all want to ask, we here and everything like that. So
just a sidebar. Vernon said he got blocked. He can't comment because I guess they thought it was spam.
Oh wow.
This is talking about his comments is spam?
Yeah, that's what they thought.
That's crazy.
So shout out to Terry Suggs. He asked, collectively, did we enjoy this season more than last season, and how would we compare?
Did we enjoy this season, last season?
I would say I'll go first. I would say I enjoyed this season more because of the freshman class. They were just they were just
hands down
incredible. Yeah. I didn't expect it to be that much talent spread out throughout the the country. And I didn't expect the freshmen to show up the way that they did. So I would say this has been the best year for a while, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And this year has been by far one of the greatest seasons in women's college basketball that I've ever been a part of. And I've been a part of women's college basketball for a very long time.
Yeah.
A very long time. And to see the freshmen and the number of freshmen that did their thing this year, even in the mid-majors, a lot of people didn't talk about Nicole Melius this year for LaSalle, who I believe held the record for most 3 points made as a freshman for a conference, if I'm not mistaken. She's and shout out to her. She's actually in the transfer portal and decided she has moved on to go to play for Seton Hall, so she'll be in the Big East next year.
Yeah,
but,
salute to her.
Yeah, but I think that this year just showed a plethora of talent that a lot of people really didn't talk about a lot because they didn't see. First off, they didn't see high school basketball for a lot of these freshmen, and they also probably didn't see the McDonald's All-American game when we literally saw all of the talent that we saw as freshmen this year in that game. Like Jada Williams was cooking, Malaysia was cooking, Juju was cooking, Michaela Williams was cooking, you know, Tessa was like, they were all cooking. Madison Booker was cooking. Like everybody that we're talking about from a freshman standpoint were cooking in that game. So so shout out to this season. I've really enjoyed I enjoyed last season. But this season, man, like
different.
Come on. It was different.
Yeah, it was definitely different, and the narrative of the season was more fun than last year's stuff. Like, remember,
I agree.
Last year's narrative was, you know, with Aaliyah Boston getting quadruple team all the time, and it made the game unfun because nobody could guard her. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this year it was just like a bunch of players. Like I say, I listed all the freshmen and everything. You know, and you know, Hannah Hidalgo, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hannah. Like, how could I forget Hannah?
That was like one of my fun spots and to watch because of, you know, what she brings defensively and as a freshman. And I think that the committees, whoever's running these awards things, they kind of diss Hannah. Hannah's supposed to, you know, on some national.
Hannah Brink better go give her the Defensive Player of the Year award back, because that was Hannah's award.
That was Hannah's award. Yeah, you can't
foul out 9 times. You can't foul out 9 times and be the Defensive Player of the Year. I'm sorry.
That, and even averaging, you know, 5 steals and stuff is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just come on, man. 5 steals is 5 steals. That's crazy.
Oh, my bad. You right. Y-Town's King and Felicia. Yeah, Maddie McDaniel is coming to say, oh God. Oh my God.
So for those that's listening, because I need to know, school me, who's Maddie McDaniel?
So Maddie is, now we talked about Malaysia, we talked about Tessa. Maddie, I would say Maddie is kind of like a tweener between the two. Excellent guard, excellent floor vision. She has a really good upside. She can shoot a little bit. She can, her biggest attribute is playmaking. She is and got incredible handle as well. So shout out to you all for mentioning Maddie. I completely, you see how stacked this team is, and I forgot about Maddie. Like, it's crazy. But
I think she was ranked like 11th overall.
Right.
Yeah. And guess where she's from? The Crib.
She from the Crib, PG County.
From PG. What's up?
Okay.
You know how PG County is something in the water.
Something in the water, man.
It's something in the water.
Except for that dude's brother, that he ain't drink that water.
Oh, come on, man.
Here we go.
He drunk Arrowhead, man.
Here we go.
But you know,
Maddie said no repeat because of USC and Juju.
Okay. I mean, I would like to see Juju get in the mix of the national championship run. I would like to see that.
A lot of people sleeping on UConn. Y'all know they signed Sarah Strong.
They got Sarah Strong.
They got their person.
They got her.
I'm not sleeping on
UConn. Team coming back? AZ Fuck.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping on
Aubrey.
Yeah. UConn's gonna be tough.
Caroline Ducharme coming back.
I'm not sleeping on UConn at all. Trust me.
Neither.
I'm not. I'm just waiting for them to link up regular season. You know what I'm saying? When I guess Dawn is going to stores next year. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? But overall, the tournament was dope.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the tournament, and definitely that's a good point
Yes.
right there. Shout out, yes, shout outs to her.
She definitely moved up in my draft board, so look out for
Where you
that.
got Deisha Fair going this year? You got in the first or you got in the second?
So she's still in the second for me. She's still in the
Okay.
second for me because I think that from a talent pool standpoint, the GMs need to look for need first. And even though Daisha Fair is an incredible scorer and she is a very good defender, that the height is always going to get you.
Yeah.
It's always going to get you. And with Georgia Amore going back, and she's going to Kentucky following Coach Kenny Brooks. She was the only sub 5'7" person that I had in the first round because of the need, and that was to Washington. Now that she's going back, there's no more 5'7" or shorter players in the draft in the first round. So Daisha Fair, she's definitely I would project her in the teens right now. But again, I'll have that out. I have 2.0 out sometime tomorrow. So just look out for it on the Substack.
Hey, K-Dot, they're not going to make the Shayla Hill mistake again. It's over for the shorties. It's over for the shorties. All right, but yeah, we're gonna close the show out now. We don't want to have a marathon and everything, but
yeah, we was on here 2 hours. What was that? Yesterday?
We was on here for 2 hours. We're not doing that. But before we go though, just want to let everybody know if you're in the New York City area, man, you know what I'm saying, we'll be there, covering the draft and stuff. So, please tap in with us and everything. Also, just because it's the last day of the college basketball season doesn't mean that we are done covering women's basketball. WNBA is here, and we're going to be back all season and stuff and everything like that. And also, we got a bunch of shows on this network too as well. So please listen, subscribe to us, man. You know what I mean? If you got your family, give it to 5 people. Tell 5 people to come and subscribe to the 9450. Y'all know where y'all can follow us at. It's right there on the screen. And for those that's listening, Twitter, the 9450, Instagram, the 9450_, TikTok, the 9450_, YouTube at the 9450, as well as the 9450 on Twitch. I know, Lauren, I'm sorry, I was supposed to have that down, but I didn't get it yet and stuff, and we're going to get it soon. I'm going to get it updated soon. I'm mad slow right now with it and stuff. But
before you sign off, look out for the CBA conversation with myself, Lauren, and 21 Titles and Miss Danetta. Shout out to you all. We'll have a CBA discussion coming soon. It'll be after the draft on the 15th. So look out for it. So if you want more education on the WNBA, you need to check that out. It's going to be a panel discussion. So look out for that.
Time out. I'm the founder of the 9450. How I don't know about
co-founder.
Co-founder.
Yeah.
How the co-founder don't know? How the co-founder don't know nothing about the 9450, man? Like, y'all doing CBA stuff. Like, damn, but it's all good though. It's all good. You know what I mean? Lock the door on me and stuff. So y'all gotta ask me for the link anyway. So whatever.
I mean, that's a fact. But I mean, y'all talked about me wanting to come back. I mean, this is part of me wanting to come back. You know what I'm saying?
K-Dot coming back. K-Dot, listen, we bringing Jump Hall and Study Hall. We doing everything. K-Dot's coming back on, with the trio and stuff like that. And also, even though this is a college show right now, we do also talk NBA as well. So, listen, we don't take breaks in basketball. We don't take breaks. We never take a break. We don't take breaks. The Olympics is coming up.
We go overseas and then go to the W and
we coming back, and look, the Olympics is coming up. So don't run away. I'm telling you right now, you talking to somebody that I don't get podcast burnout. So it's on. But yeah, Y-Town said the W needs 4 more. Yes, they really do. They really do need 4 more teams, and hopefully we can get to that. Felicia, thank you. Great segment tonight. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad everybody's finally tuning in. When we talk high level hoops all the time. Thank you once again for real. With that being said, y'all be safe out there, and we will see y'all, I guess, after the draft, or maybe we'll do a pre-draft show before we leave and stuff. Maybe we'll do that. So probably around Wednesday, we'll probably be back on. So love is love. Peace.
Peace out.